this is Cindy at Card Collectanea, and today I'd like to show you a card that I took an inspiration from the July of last year, 2011, Card Maker magazine. And this is the card here. It's a trifold card, and it's a tall card. It's 9 inches tall, and works in thirds along the height of the card. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'll set this aside. Now I'm starting with the measurements were 8.5 this way, so it's an 8.5 by 11. So it's 8.5 this way by 9. Just cut 2 inches off an 8.5 by 11 inch card and you'll have what you need. So 8.5 by 9. Now on your scoreboard, or however it is you score, you need to score from each end 2 1/8. 2 1/8 from this end, 2 1/8 from this side. And when you fold those together, you've got this very tall trifold card. It's 9 inches tall. So I'm going to add to that a green mat. I'm working in purples and greens today. I'm going to put this green mat, and I made it 9 inches tall and 1/8 of an inch smaller. So it's rather than 2 1/8 that this is 2, maybe just a bit smaller than 2, and it's 9 inches tall, 2 by 9. And I have, of course, one for the other side. And when I finish that, then I'm going to add this purple and green stripe, and doesn't really make any difference which one goes on which side here, but the purple and green stripe is 1/4 of an inch smaller than the green horizontally. Vertically it's still 9 inches, but where the green is 2, this one is 1 3/4. 1 3/4 by 9. I'll put those together and then I'll show you what's next. Alright, now I have those finished, and on the left hand side of the card here I brought the green right up to the edge so that there wasn't any off-white showing. And on this one, which for some reason this flap tended to be a little bit bigger, turned out being a little bit bigger, I centered that green mat. So when I close it up, I have about the same on each edge and in the center. So it's where I want it to be right now. So then I wanted to work in thirds and across the front here. So I cut using elegant edges, surprise, this frame called Circles, it's called. It's on page 31 of the manual. And I cut it at 2.5 inches. It has a nice deep round look to it on the corner, on the edges. And so I'm going to work in threes again, and so I'm going to put 3 of these up the length of the card. And before I put them down, I'm going to add I took a 2-inch square, and these are 2.5, this is 2 inches. And I'm going to put that on the back because I wanted to make sure that the paper had some stiffness to it. And both of these, the purple and the green and the stripe, all 3 of them, are from DCWV, from I think a summer pack from a while back. And so I'm going to put those in there. I won't let the white show through, but I want to add some stiffness here and just make sure that that square is sturdy. And so again, I'll finish that and then I'll show you what will go on top. Now I have all of the whites attached to the back of this purple piece, and actually this square was more like 1 7/8, so a little bit smaller than 2. And so I'll have those all ready to go. Now on top of each one I want to add a green mat, which is 1 3/4 inches, that's a square, and then a purple mat, which is 1 1/2 inches. 1 3/4, 1 1/2. And so they'll be layered right on top of each other. And then I'm almost ready to add the pieces to the centers. It looks a little dark here, but I'm next to the card that has some off-white in it, and with the off-white things I'm going to add, it will be fine, I think. Alright, now I have all three of these put together, and I also put some foam tape on the back. Now remember that you want to just put foam tape on one side because you don't want to glue your card together, the flaps together. So you're just going to put the foam tape on one side, the adhesive on one side, and then you're going to put all these up and down the card, up the card. So I'm going to take these off. I'll do this one at a time so that I can space them as I go. Alright, I think that looks good. And when you open this up, you'll see that that sticks out. It's not the best color, but it will be alright. I would have used white, but the card, the paper itself has a distinct off-white color in the paper. So I wanted to make sure that that matched. And these stripes in the striped mat are not equal size stripes, so you can't really use that as a determiner as to where this thing should be lined up. Alright, so I think that one looks good. And then the third one here in the middle. I'll just center that between the two of them. Oh, cute. I think that looks good. Yes. Right now, to dress it up and finish it off here, I'm going to make this a birthday card. So I have two little hats. One is purple. Well, they're both stamped on an off-white cardstock. One is stamped in purple with a little green gemstone, and one is stamped in green with a little purple gemstone. And since they're stamped on off-white, the off-white comes through and breaks up the color. It gives your eye a rest. And then at the bottom, the top and the bottom, I'm going to add just a tiny button. Actually, this is the back side of the button. The button has a sort of a pearly look to it, and I didn't like that as well. So I'm using the back, which has a nice rounded look to it, and it's off-white, very much like the paper. So I'm going to put those on, and I'm not even going to put a sentiment on the outside. I think people will get the idea that this is for birthday, and then I'll put a birthday greeting on the inside. And this will be very easy to put anything there, whatever stamp image you have, and you can change this up very simply. Alright, now before I show you the finished card, I wanted to show you the adhesives that I'd use. This is Zot's small dots for the buttons, and then here is the Scotch tape, foam tape that I like to use so well. And this is my Zig two-way pen, which I use to put all the squares together with. And then of course my favorite, my ATG gun, and I used it for most of everything else. So, and then also I wanted to tell you that while I was off camera, the thought that this was not going to be right on the inside really bothered me. So I took a piece of the off-white paper and put one on each one of these, so that when you open the card you see white, you see off-white, you don't see white. And then I inked around the edges. I just cut that 2.5 inch rounded square again on Cricut, 2.5 inches, and that was that circles one. And so then I put it on the back, and then so that now when you open that you just see the same color off-white. And I like that so much better. So if you've never made one of these cards before, please give it a try. I think you'll find it to be quite easy, and it's a different look, and I just really like it. The gatefold is clever and something that a lot of people wouldn't have seen before. So thank you so much for dropping by. Bye-bye.